welcome everybody to another live episode of Strong Style here on the Outlaw Nation channel. I am one of your hosts, the Outlaw John Rocha, joined as always by my man over there, sexy Aaron Turner. How are you, man? What's going on there in your life, brother?
Whoa. Sorry, guys. A couple of minutes late on the live stream. It's my fault because I was getting caught up on The Mandalorian, the first episode of season 2. It rocks. You should definitely go watch it after this is over. But it's my fault. So you can blame me, but it kicks ass.
It's totally understandable. I myself, we just finished. I watched it twice this morning. We did our review, and as soon as we did our review, I put it up there on the channel. So if you, after you're done with this show and you want to go back and you want to watch our review of it, for the Geek Buddies reviewed it, and I put it up on the channel, please feel free to do so. A lot of fun there, a lot of stuff to talk about. But that is not what we are talking about today. We're getting into the pro wrestling news of the week, and also doing a bit of a watch along later on in the show. Sting versus Jake the Snake Roberts from 1992's Halloween Havoc. With a miner's glove on a pole, or a coal miner's glove on a pole, whatever it's called.
That's right.
It is there. We're talking about it, or we're going to watch it later on the show, and we're getting into some wrestling news as well. Just want to remind you all, the Strong Style shirts are available. The links are in, or the link rather, is in the description of this video. If you want to get a Strong Style shirt, so many of you have been putting up pictures and sending us tweets about you wearing the Strong Style shirt. You look fantastic wearing it. And don't forget, Streamlabs and Superchats are how we power things here on the Outlaw Nation and power things here on Strong Style specifically. So send in your questions, send in your thoughts about everything. We're going to get into so many things like Halloween Havoc, the WWE coming down hard on wrestlers' Twitch and Cameo accounts. What Jay Lethal had to say about COVID and Ring of Honor, and of course some other stuff that's going around the world of sports entertainment as well. So I'm excited to get into all of it there. Aaron, are you ready?
I'm ready, man. Let's get into it.
All right, let's do it. What's up first?
Let's spin the wheel and make the deal. Let's talk about NXT Halloween Havoc this past Wednesday.
Yeah.
They won the ratings war against AEW Dynamite this past weekend, which, if you count that, I don't count that. I don't. It's so stupid, but it's a side tangent. Who cares? But anyway, so yeah, Halloween Havoc went down. Shotzi Blackheart, why she's on the thumbnail is because she was the host. I thought she was awesome. Was she a little over the top? Yeah, probably, but she was kind of playing a little bit of an Elvira kind of role, and I'm totally fine with it because Elvira's over the top. Shotzi can be over the top. Why not? So we'll go through some of the matches here. Johnny Gargano defeated Damian Priest to win the North American Championship in a Devil's Playground match. That was the slice of the wheel that they got. Whatever. No coal miner's glove on a pole, but okay. That's fine. Dexter Lumis defeats Cameron Grimes in a House of Horrors match, which was like a cinematic match that we've been talking about, the Boneyard match, Firefly Funhouse match. Rhea Ripley defeated Reina Gonzalez.
Mm-hmm.
Santos Escobar retained his Cruiserweight Championship by defeating Jake Atlas. Right. And Io Shirai retained her women's championship in a tables, ladders, and scares match against Candice Lerae. That was their slice of the wheel there. So once again, no coal miner's glove on a pole, which we'll talk about later, though. But Ben, you watched this and tell me your overall impressions, because I know that this was something I had to tell you was good to watch. So,
right.
So what'd you think?
I'm more selective nowadays than I have ever been because of, just kind of time constraints or what have you. And if I'm going to watch a pay-per-view, especially when you're watching it in an arena where you're not hearing the fans as strongly, it's important for me to hear the fans, and the fact that I can't hear the fans and I'm watching a wrestling match, you can start to hear sometimes, Aaron, and certainly I heard 2 or 3 times during these matches, them calling the moves or calling the cues. I even heard the ref when they were going, going out into the tables area beyond the ring. Like, you got 2 minutes. Like, you can hear that kind of stuff, and it just kind of takes away the suspension of disbelief. So I need to know that we've got some great matches going on before I take some time. And I did it this morning. Woke up around 7 o'clock, turned it on the WWE Network and watched. It's an hour and a half, without the commercials and stuff. Hour and a half some really good, fun matches. A great way to get back into NXT or continue you're watching some great matches from NXT. Certainly the Gargano Damian Priest match. Bit of a surprise on the ending because they just gave Damian Priest this title just a few months ago, and then to already lose it so quickly, and Gargano having it for a second time was really surprising. Like, what are you doing with Damian Priest here? Are you setting up a longer feud with Gargano? What are we setting up here? You have the Tommaso Ciampa stuff, who's never out of the picture for anything. Ciampa coming back, kind of complaining about NXT and what it looks like now versus what it was before, wanting to stake his claim. You had that vignette. The Cameron Grimes thing was, to me, just didn't work. Bored me to tears. Couldn't care less. It was nice to see Freebird Michael Hayes, though. It was good to see him. I mean, no one else wears a fanny pack like the Freebird does, Michael Hayes. Rhea Ripley and Reina Gonzalez. This was a surprisingly good match. Aaron, you and I have both been watching wrestling for decades, and we know when you get two big people in the ring, sometimes it can be a bit of a boring match or a bit like a couple of like a bit cloddish, for lack of a better term.
Sure.
And it did not come off that way in this match. Really enjoyed the back and forth between both of them. The Santos Escobar Jake Atlas match, that felt like a jobber match, or like because Jake Atlas got a little bit of offense in, and then Santos and his crew shut it down. But the Io Shirai and Candice LeRae match was fantastic as well. So I would say those are the three that I really enjoyed: the Io Shirai, Rhea Ripley, and Johnny Gargano. If you want to see these other two matches, feel free. But those three are the ones to watch it for. And they were a joy to watch. They were within 15, 20 minutes each match, and some great moves that were pulled off by all the wrestlers involved here. Candice LeRae continues to earn my respect for the amount of bumps that her waifish body takes in all of these matches. She is never afraid to mix it up with tables, ladders, and scares, or chairs, or desks, or what have you. She has no problem putting her body through an incredible amount of physical pain. And most often she loses in the big matches, but Io Shirai did this thing. Her ending move, throwing Candice through those two ladders, incredible stuff. But yeah, a lot of fun. What about you?
Yeah, I feel the same way about that Io Shirai match. I mean, Io Shirai should have been the one that came out on top. Like, we're talking about Io Shirai. We're talking about how great she was, because she was great. But we're really talking about how Candice LeRae and how she didn't exactly die.
Yeah.
I kind of thought for a minute that she was going to win the title when the ghost face came a second time to help.
Right.
Helped Gargano earlier, tried to help Candice later. And I was like, oh, okay, well, they're both going to win titles. And it feels like it's the 15th time that Candice LeRae has lost an NXT title match. Whether it be Io Shirai, Shayna Baszler, whoever, she always puts on quality matches.
Yep. And,
I don't know what's next for her either, because you can't put her right back in there in a title fight because it doesn't make a lot of sense. Something I really enjoyed that I know you didn't enjoy was the Cameron Grimes House of Horror match, because it was completely stupid. Yes. And it was so stupid that I kind of loved it. And it just, you couldn't take it seriously at all. Like, there's zombies and the referee's a zombie, and they got some contortionists and some really cool performers to do some good zombie work there. So as a fan of horror, I appreciated it, but it was silliness. It was pure silliness. And Cameron Grimes cracks me up because he's from North Carolina. He's got a very southern drawl about him. And he said when Michael Hayes came out, which was great, and Michael Hayes was asking him if he knew where Bad Street USA was, which was amazing. And Cameron Grimes said, "I hate rednecks," which is just amazing because he is a redneck. That cracks me up. And then he goes on, they do the zombie thing. I thought it was fine. Something we didn't talk about that, I don't think either one of us are big fans of is the Pat McAfee stuff.
Oh God.
Which, he's out there with Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. And then out comes Pete Dunne out comes Kyle O'Reilly first, and then Pete Dunne. And then Pete Dunne, of course, turns on him. Who couldn't see that coming from a mile away? Right. Pete Dunne, by the way, looking seriously jacked.
Yeah, right.
Good for him. Looking great. No wonder he's wearing sleeveless shirts. I would too. But, but yeah, man. I mean, it's just this stuff with Pat McAfee as long as he's a mouthpiece for Lorcan and Burch and Pete Dunne, who aren't the best talkers. Pete Dunne's a little better than most. I'm hesitant to like him. Number one, he was a player for WVU. That's just a thing that I can't get behind.
Oh, wow.
But he's just a guy that I look at and I'm like, this guy just tries too hard, and I don't like that about him.
Yeah.
But he did impress me in the Adam Cole match. I thought he did a phenomenal job for
Yeah.
somebody that's not a wrestler by trade.
Right.
And as long as he's just helping getting these guys over and not himself over, I'm totally fine with it.
Okay.
Something else that I really enjoyed, like the Rhea Ripley Reina Gonzalez match. I think the reason they had such good chemistry together was because they're best friends in real life. And I think I keep calling her the wrong name. I don't believe it is Reina Gonzalez. That's her other name. Now I'm trying to crap. I have been calling her wrong name this entire time.
Oh, really?
It is Raquel Gonzalez. It was Reina Gonzalez before they changed it to Raquel. So sorry about that. But anywho, so they're best friends in real life. So that helps a lot with the chemistry. And I just think that Rhea Ripley is such a class above anyone else in the NXT women's division right now, except for Io Shirai, that it shows every time she's in the ring. She looks great. Yeah. She moves great. You can't beat her down and make it look convincing. She's so good.
Right.
And I love her so much. I wish we would see her on the main roster and continue that feud with Charlotte. Maybe we will down the road, but I don't know.
Right.
Johnny Gargano and Damian Priest was a little bit of a disappointment for me because, I did want Damian Priest to keep that North American title for a little bit longer, but you got to do something with Johnny Gargano. And if you're not going to give him the main title because Finn Balor has it, you might as well give him this title, and we'll see what he can do as a heel. He's got plenty of fresh competition.
Yeah.
Could be some good stuff here, but overall, Halloween Havoc I thought was an A+ show for NXT. It just felt like a regular episode, but amped up a lot. It didn't feel like a takeover quite as big because it didn't have the main championship or the tag team titles.
Right.
But I thought it was really awesome. I thought Shotzi did an amazing job as the host.
Yeah, I thought Shotzi did great as well. I mean, you got to give some life to the spinning of the wheel. We're going to talk about later on in the show, Watch Along with the Sting and Jake the Snake Roberts. And I watched those sequences where Sting is spinning the wheel. Both Shivani, Jim Ross, and Jesse the Body are quiet as F when that wheel is spinning around. You got to, give some love or talk about the possible matches a little bit more as the wheel's spinning around, fill in that dead air. Lord knows I know about spinning wheels in the Schmono. You got to fill that dead air, but they don't say a word while it's spinning and what have you. And then finally, when it's slowing down, Jesse pipes in, and then so does Jim Ross, but not much. Whereas Io Shirai, like whenever that wheel is spinning or whenever anything's happening, there's stuff to keep you entertained. There's no real dead air. And I thought she did a fantastic job with that overall and made it work. And she also sold the surprise of it all. You know what I'm saying? The surprise of what the match is, the surprise of what the stakes are. All of that was well done for me personally. I will ask you this though, because you bring up the main roster stuff, Aaron. You look at Rhea Ripley here, getting the victory over Raquel Gonzalez. Tough, hard-fought victory. Damn good match. And then you get Damian Priest losing here. Do we see possibly both of these people moving up into the main roster? Is that the reason for their respective results in these matches? With Rhea, it reinforces with Damian Priest. Now he doesn't have a belt to take up there, so he can roll up there free and clear.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking more Damian Priest than I am Rhea Ripley at this time. I think they're going to eventually have Rhea take that title off of Io Shirai before anything happens, and I would see Io go up. But yeah, Damian Priest first. I think he's got a lot of upside. He's a big guy, but he's also an older guy.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's got, tons and tons of time to get to that main roster spot if he wants it.
Right.
So I'd like to see him get up there first. And I think he's well liked within the company. The guy trained Matt Riddle, so we know how good Matt Riddle is. So why not bring him up there?
Yeah, Ryan Satin pointed out on Twitter they changed Matt Riddle's classification there on the WWE.com page. What do they call him? Riddle now? Just Riddle?
Yeah, just Riddle so far. But he said he tweeted out that, like everybody needs to chill about it. He's been called Riddle his entire life, and it's not a big deal. And he would actually prefer to be called Riddle instead of Matt Riddle. So if he's okay with it, I guess I'm all right with it.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, we'll see the results of where this leads. Do we have didn't we just have a Hell in a Cell as well, or is that coming up?
We had a Hell in a Cell this past Sunday. So we had Hell in a Cell followed by Halloween Havoc. And then we've got, Survivor Series will be next.
Right.
So it'll be a big one.
Any one thing stand out for you from that Hell in a Cell that you thoroughly enjoyed?
Well, Sasha Banks beat Bayley to become the women's champion undisputed. So Bayley's run ends her very historic run of, over a year as champion, how many days she's been as champion, and now Sasha gets to have her run with the SmackDown Women's Championship. Should be a fun SmackDown tonight to see her on there and see what she does.
That's for sure. I'm looking forward to it as well. And then also love the Jey Uso Roman Reigns stuff, furthering that whole idea of Reigns feeling sad for what he did. Is that real? Is that not real? I hope they don't give up on his heel run, man. I hope they don't waste time on it and start to turn him face again. Let him be a heel for a while, for God's sakes. Let him enjoy that.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. There you go. All right, we got a couple of super chats that have rolled through here before we get into our next topic. J-Dog saying, poor Paige. She just wants to make a living. We're definitely going to be talking about that a little bit later on in the show. So we'll get to that, J-Dog, for sure. And Chris Miner says, love the segment with Yete and the Shockmaster. Yes. What's his face? Dressed up as Hogan.
Drake Maverick, yeah.
Drake Maverick and the Shockmaster. Good stuff. Yeah. What'd you think there?
The Shockmaster stuff really cracked me up, and I liked when Killian Dane was like, I can't wear this. I could trip. I could trip over this, just like the Shockmaster. And then Drake Maverick puts it on, and lo and behold, he trips and falls.
Yeah,
so good. Way to go. Love that. And those two are actually surprisingly pretty good as a tag team.
Yeah,
I would like to see more of that. But the Halloween costumes and stuff that they did, Vic Joseph dressed up as Waldo.
Right.
Wade Barrett was Bad News Barrett, which made me laugh so hard.
I'll call a bit of bad news.
I love that because he's like, "What are you dressed up as?" He's like, "I'm Bad News Barrett." Like he just has a gavel and he's Bad News Barrett. So good stuff there. You'll see later on in the Spin the Wheel, Make the Deal that Jesse the Body Ventura is dressed up as a vampire. It's pretty funny. But anytime you can infuse a little bit of that, and some people in the crowd were dressed up. So I thought that was pretty fun.
Yeah, I did too. I thoroughly enjoyed that as well. Mertaranta said my audio is clearly lower than Aaron, so I adjusted it. Listen, I got a new contraption. I got a new mic, so I'm still figuring it out as I do these shows this week, but I'll be good to go hopefully by next week. So just figuring out the audio and the controls of everything and how loud and how not loud I can be before I blow out the audio. So if I do sound like I'm blowing things out, Aaron, let me know, please.
Say it loud, say it proud. I should also mention that while we're doing this, you guys can go ahead and pull up the WWE Network, go to Halloween Havoc 1992 just to have this ready. It's free on the network, so you don't have to have a network subscription. You just sign in or sign up, and you get it for free. You can go sign up for Halloween Havoc and get it there. So, so just be queuing that up. It's right about 2 hours, 32 minutes, and almost 30 seconds when it starts. So just go ahead and have that queued up in the background so you'll be right to go along. It's not very long at all, I promise.
We'll be good to go. Real quick, we got a Streamlab from Hill Nellums. He said, Hill says, happy Halloween, guys. Just like the Jericho MJF segment last week, Halloween Havoc was a great reminder that wrestling can and should be fun. Also, why would Kyle O'Reilly think Pete Dunne would be on his side after everything Yui had done to him? Good question.
Yeah, it was definitely this is definitely going to happen kind of thing. Like the second that he got behind Kyle O'Reilly, is like, that's a turn waiting to happen. And why not? Because Pete Dunne is good as a face, good as a heel. I'll take him any way that I can get him. And I love me some Pete Dunne. Le Dinner Debonair between MJF and Chris Jericho. I said it last week. I'll say it again. Yeah, I'm a traditional wrestling fan. I usually don't like stuff like that. My God, how funny was that? And I just for 2020 being like as sad and depressing as it possibly could be with all the death and destruction going on, that really raised my spirits in a moment where I was like, this kind of sucks, and it really just brought everything back. So I really appreciate that. I know a lot of people hated it. I know a lot of people hated the Cameron Grimes and Dexter Lumis thing, but sometimes it's okay. All the time, no. Right. But sometimes, every once in a while, it's okay to do something silly. I'm fine with it.
All right, fine. Yeah, you win. What does he say? Mataranta, the zombie that was climbing on Dexter Lumis and that he threw on Grimes, was that Casey Catanzaro?
It could have been. I didn't really look that hard. I haven't really watched it back, but it could have been with her American Ninja Warrior skills. It definitely could have been. I'll have to go back and look.
She climbed all over him. I was pretty surprised by it. So it could be her. You never know.
It was awesome.
Yep. All right, what do we got next, Aaron?
All right, so now we're talking about a Netflix documentary for the ages, one that I think we could all say that we definitely want to see as WWE and Netflix do a groundbreaking quote unquote groundbreaking new deal that will bring the story of Vincent Kennedy McMahon to Netflix. This was announced on a WWE earnings call a couple days ago, that it is going to be one of the highest budgeted Netflix documentaries in history.
Yeah.
So there's no word yet on the title or the release, but it is worth noting that Bill Simmons will executive produce the project, and Chris Smith as well, who directed the Firefest documentary for Netflix, which is great. You should definitely watch it. Yep. And Bill Simmons, of course, from where is he from?
Yeah, he's from The Ringer.
The Ringer.
Now.
The Ringer. That's what I was
Grantland,
thinking.
Yeah.
The Ringer and Grantland, and of course, he helped produce that HBO Andre the Giant documentary.
Right.
So another good one there. And it looks like we're finally going to get the story of Vince McMahon, but will we?
Are we really
gonna get the story of Vince McMahon? That's what I want to. That's what I wanted to ask you. What do you think? How much of the story of Vince McMahon are we going to get here?
Whatever's going to make him excited about himself or give him a hard on about himself, that will make the documentary. Whatever he doesn't want to have in the documentary that'll make him look bad, like an opportunist, like a cheat, like a thief, like a liar, and like a crook, and like an insensitive boss to these wrestlers who are suffering with injuries now, who built the foundation of the money he's making in 2020 back in the 80s. All that kind of China, they're not going to touch on any of that stuff. I guarantee you, it's the Snuka stuff, the accusations about him hiding Snuka. If they even remotely come close to any of these subjects, then I'll have a lot of respect for that documentary. But I got a feeling they're not going to dive into the uncomfortable stuff around Vince. And there's a lot of uncomfortable stuff around Vince. We saw it in the Andre Giant, the documentary. They didn't get into too much of the other Andre the Giant stuff. It was only an hour and a half. You could have done at least 4 hours on Andre. You could have done 6 hours on Andre as a series and really gotten into some of the stuff. You know, they only glossed over the things where he felt really abused by McMahon. And we're going to get into Paige a little bit later. But even Paige says, like, she got overworked by the WWE, which caused her neck to be damaged, which is why she can't wrestle anymore. And now they're trying to take away her other livelihood or other income that she can make outside of being a WWE superstar. So there are these things they're going to explore. And I never trust it when a CEO has essentially control of their own depiction in a documentary. It's absolute horseshit. That's why I don't want the Jackson family involved in a Michael Jackson documentary. I don't want the Beatles involved in a Beatles documentary. I don't like anybody associated from Elvis. I don't want them involved in the Elvis documentary. I want you to hire intelligent people who are objective about the subject matter, and let them create whatever they create in the documentary on a certain subject. But Vince, I don't know. Vince is going to edit half this thing out. I guarantee it.
Well, it's like a couple years ago when Straight Outta Compton came out, and I was so excited to see Straight Outta Compton, and I like the movie just fine.
It's a good movie, yeah.
But it's like, really?
Yeah,
it's like the glorified version of NWA. Like, it's
those guys did some dirty shit.
Yeah, Dr. Dre was involved, and those guys were involved with it, Ice Cube and those guys. So of course it was going to be, hey, make us look good as possible. So while I don't want that, as long as they do something along the lines of what they did with the Andre documentary and the things that WWE have done in the past with how great their documentary team is, I would love to see it. I mean, I don't think any wrestling fan wouldn't want to see this. I don't care if you like just AEW, whatever. Everybody wants to see the story of Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Are they going to touch on the steroid trial? I think they have to.
Yeah,
I think they've got to touch on that. And do I think they'll touch on the stuff where Vince McMahon was on HBO and he threw the papers at Bob Costas?
Right.
Maybe. The XFL probably going to be in there too. Right. So there's going to be some interesting stuff in there regardless that you really can't get away from.
Don't forget the bodybuilding federation he started as well.
Yeah, I hope they touch all of it. Yeah, of course. Yeah. So there's going to be that in there. So it's got enough stuff to where if you don't put the bad stuff in it, you're kind of okay because you still have enough to talk about. Right. But you have to put something in there. There's going to be something.
Yeah. And I don't want to get too political, but it's like if Trump was to be in charge of his own documentary, there's no way you get the actual thing of what happened. And these CEOs are very, very guarded. about their public persona. I mean, they essentially were branding themselves before branding was a thing. They understood they had to come off in a certain way or look a certain way. Are we going to get the Bret Hart Montreal Screwjob story? Are we going to get all these other things that have happened? Are we going to get Bischoff's actual thoughts about McMahon? Are we going to get Jim Cornette? Are we going to get the ancestors, or the sons and daughters or grandchildren of these guys who were running these promotions that were in different states that Vince essentially went in and took their best talent and stole them and had them go into a bankruptcy? Are we going to get those people talking about what Vince did to them with his business? So I doubt it. And so we're going to get a good documentary. I'm definitely going to watch it. There's no way I'm not watching it. And I'm sure we'll review it for the show, Aaron. But in my mind, it's not going to be the truth. And I would like to see the truth rather than, some carefully constructed bullshit, in my opinion.
Well, it kind of stinks also is that movie, the Vince McMahon movie Pandemonium, which had Bradley Cooper involved, looks like it's gone now. So that doesn't look like it's going to happen, but which is a shame. That's something you probably could have got away with the juicy stuff. But I just hate the thing I hate is that there's going to be a cut of this movie that we'll never get to see because they'll show it to Vince and Stephanie, and they'll be like, all right, you got to cut out this, you got to cut out that, you got to cut out this. Like if there was some kind of ultimate director's cut, that would be kind of fun. Yeah. But, with Netflix, I doubt that's going to happen. But
this is a great question. Will they bring up Owen Hart and Chris Benoit? That's a great question.
That's a really great question. And I'm going to go with no.
Yeah.
Probably more probably if they do bring up one of the two, it'll probably be Benoit over Owen, because I think they'll just skate right past Owen. With all the litigation that they have going on with there, they'll just right past that. I could see them talking about Benoit and Vince McMahon saying, that was a bad decision. We didn't have all the facts, all that kind of stuff. I could see that happening. Sure. But I would like to see some of these older folks. A lot of them are dead, unfortunately. Yeah. That will, talk about their time. And Eric Bischoff would be a good person to interview. Paul Heyman would be a great one. Hulk Hogan, if he hangs on. I hate to say it like that, but you know what I mean? He's getting older. Brother, I'm just saying.
Don't you say that, brother.
If they interview all these great people, get Bret Hart in there, even get Chris Jericho, get some of the talent that's crossed over to talk about it too. So I'm all in for this.
Yeah. It'll be fun to see what they do and don't do. And it'll be fodder for us to talk about and for other wrestling sites to talk about for sure. All right. What's next, brother?
All right. So this is a story that's kind of developing over the past couple months or so. Since Vince McMahon and the company said they were going to take down wrestlers' Twitch accounts and their Cameo accounts and their Mixer accounts, whatever Mixer is. I have no idea what that even is. So you've got several superstars that do this. I mean, Paige is the one we'll probably talk about the most. You got AJ Styles, Mia Yim, Cesaro, Adam Cole does it. Xavier Woods has Up, Up, Down, Down, which is owned by WWE, so that's probably still going to fly. Right. And then you got Aleister Black and Zelina Vega have their A to Z one. And then you have a bunch of people on Cameo, like Billie Kay, Peyton Royce, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville. They're all on Cameo.
Alexa Bliss.
Sasha. Pay $400. Roman Reigns. Everybody's on Cameo doing their kind of stuff on there. Yeah. And it looks like that's gone. And not only is that gone, it's gone with a vengeance, especially for Paige. You should probably take this one because you've known a little bit more about it than I do.
Yeah, it's a little frustrating when you look at this situation, and we're getting this from a number of websites who are reporting on this. And Paige, it's here's how it was relayed or described what happened with Paige, because she found out as she was doing her show. She got emotional during one of her Twitch streams, and we're getting this from WrestlingInc.com, so I want to give a little bit of credit to them. Paige got emotional during one of her Twitch streams that afternoon, was they were reporting this on her Saraya official, because that's her actual channel, her actual name, Saraya official channel, after finding out about coworkers shutting down their platforms. She said, quote, "You guys, we have to make this. You guys, there may be a time where I have to stop streaming. So I just think in case I walk away, if I have to walk away, let's make these next two streams crazy. I have to go off. If I have to leave, we make today and Saturday fucking crazy before I have to leave, because it might have to come to that." They describe her as Paige continuing texting, and she was apparently texting with coworkers on her phone and came back to the camera. And apparently she was more emotional when she came back and addressing her viewers. She said that she, quote, "cannot deal with the WWE anymore." She said, I've honestly got to the point where I cannot deal with this company anymore. So now I have to make a very important decision. I'm effing tired, man. I broke my effing neck twice. Broke a freaking neck. I broke my effing neck twice for this company. Over effing worked. I broke my neck twice for this company. And all I wanted was they don't realize that this community isn't just about effing subs. It isn't just about that. It isn't about that. We've built a wonderful community, a wonderful effing family where this is an escape for a lot of people, including myself. I can't wrestle anymore. I was worked so hard in WWE that I can't wrestle anymore. My neck is effed. My whole dream got taken away from me, dude. And I had to have something that fulfilled even a small part of that huge effing void that I lost with wrestling. And then she goes on to say that, this kind of filled that void for her. Twitch was a wonderful thing for me. It's such a wonderful place for me. And I understand if they're like, hey, if you're wrestling every day, if you're doing shows every day, if you're on TV constantly, that's fine. But I'm a effing injured wrestler. I can't wrestle anymore. So I got used for media stuff. And it's something to keep me sane. And Twitch was my escape from that. Right now I'm just sitting on my effing ass. And she goes on further, Aaron, to talk about her years of dealing with the depression of this injury. Remember, she was right in the middle of retribution. All this was going to happen, and she couldn't wrestle anymore. And so this is a valid situation here for a lot of these wrestlers to be hyper upset with how much they're losing now in income. Metaranta says Paige is making like $45K a month from Twitch. That's insane. $45K a month. That is a lot of money that you're being asked to give back or not having come in. And I guarantee you that's a great amount of money to be making when you add that onto her WWE salary. So I hope by Vince making these moves, he's finding some way to supplant this income. Can you explain to me why this is happening? They're freelancers.
I really can't. And the only way I can explain it is if you go on a live stream and your name in the WWE is Cesaro and you're streaming, but your real name is Claudio Castagnoli and you stream on Twitch as Cesaro.
Right.
It's like Henry Cavill going on Twitch and streaming as Clark Kent or something like,
or Superman. Yeah.
Fucking weird.
Right.
Like 1-800 Indiana Jones. Like, it's just fucking, that's a Dave Chappelle joke, but it's like, what the fuck? But, yeah, man, I don't understand the deal with Paige in particular because she doesn't wrestle. All she does is media stuff if they need her, and it keeps her saying, look, I play video games to make me sane. I got my Switch right here. Like, I play it all the time. It, keeps me sane. It keeps me, it's a nice escapist thing to go around as Donkey Kong and jump on some people every once in a while. It's kind of fun. So I really hate that that's being taken away from her. I kind of worry about what's going on here. And like she said, it's not just the subs. It's not just that. It's like interacting with people. Like, I don't fully understand the whole Twitch thing. Like, I'm not, I'll check out some videos from time to time, but I don't watch it live. And I don't really have any subs to anybody, but I just, that part of the whole thing has lost me. I don't, whatever, but I totally respect that she creates content that people want to see, that is outside of the WWE, and they just came and took it. Came and said, yeah, you want to keep getting a paycheck from us, then you're going to stop doing what you're doing. It's straight bullshit. It's total bullshit.
Yeah, and I think that's just frustrating. Zelina Vega and Aleister Black, they had an A to Z show. Now that's possibly going to be put on the shelf as well. And this is all about, I just believe, and I know Vince gave that, earnings call and said, it's not just about ratings. We have a very hardcore audience, which is all people say when they're losing an audience. I just think he sees his profits dwindling with what happened with the XFL again, with what he sees as what a lot of the fans see as kind of a boring product right now. There's money. They're losing money. And I think they see that this is some money that other people are getting that they should be getting a cut of. So this may be their way of shutting everything down and then saying, if you're going to go forward with it, we deserve a cut. Maybe legal is involved here and they're coming up with contracts to say like, okay, you can stream and you're back to your $45K a month, but we get 20% of that because you got known through us. There's no way you would have the amount of attention you have if it wasn't for us giving you worldwide attention and an audience to make your name and your bones and get recognized. And I understand that. And there is some validity to that argument. However, it isn't the WWE setting up these streams every day, sitting on there for hours and hours talking to fans, coming up with content, coming up with a rundown, producing this stuff, editing this stuff, mixing this stuff. It isn't the WWE doing any of that. All they're doing is taking a cut because you happened to be on their show and become a star on their show. And I think that's the problem, because they're freelancers. You can't own them to try to tell them what to do. And it's frustrating. And the fact that these people are over the barrel because they know if they don't listen to WWE, they'll get fired, and with cause. Because I'm sure those contracts say can fire you at any reason for any reason, can fire you at any time for any reason. And they're out even more money. You know what I'm saying? And so I just wonder about this. But Paige said, she mentioned in her comments, man, she said unionization. That's a huge word to speak when you're a professional wrestler, even an injured professional wrestler who's still under contract to the WWE, Aaron. So I don't think this is over by a long shot. And I know the truth of life is you start messing with the lower class, and they do deem them lower class in terms of freelancers. The lower class will fight back. And, if all those freelancers left the WWE and it became a thing where people were protesting and there were hardly any scabs that would cross the line to go be a part of this thing, it would be a very, very interesting situation. It's not going to happen, but if it did, it would really put Vince on his ass. Yeah.
I kind of feel like this situation's like when your grandparents get Twitter or something, like, Vince, someone probably told Vince, hey, Paige has a Twitch channel.
Yeah.
First of all, he's probably like, what the hell is that? Right. Second of all, someone probably explained it to him as, oh, you people watch you play video games and you can stream other content on there. It's really not a big deal.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, okay, that sounds fine. Does she make any money off of that? Yeah, a little bit. How much? $45,000 a month. What the hell? Like, we gotta get these people off of there. Like, what is going on?
That's some of my money.
Yeah, exactly. I just don't understand. I understand the difference if it was Paige. Like, my name is Paige, I'm streaming as Paige.
Right.
But when you're streaming as Saraya, that's you. That's who you are. When you go on Cameo and you're like getting a cameo from Jessica McKay, you're getting a cameo from Jessica McKay, not Billy Kay. So it's just kind of like, but is it that weird area where it's like the only reason you're getting this cameo for $100 is because we all know that it's Billy Kay,
right?
But you're getting it from Jessica McKay. Like, it's a whole weird thing that I don't completely understand of how, like, it's kind of like an intellect. I guess it's like an IP issue, like an intellectual thing. Like, we know the reason that you're streaming on Paige's Twitch channels because you know Paige from WWE. You don't know her from, a Trix commercial.
Yeah, right.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
You know her from the movie. If you never watch wrestling, you may know her from Fighting with My Family because you like that story. But it's not like that's where she came from. Is it right? No, it's not right. Is it business? Yes, it is. Like, my company has a no compete as well. So if I went and like tried to start my own business dealing drugs, which I'm in the drug business. So if I start dealing drugs, they'll just fire my ass.
Right.
So it's kind of like, I guess it's kind of like that, but kind of not like that. I don't know. It's confusing. I hate it. I hate it when people build something on their own and can't make money from it. I think that's total bullshit. Just corporate overlord, high stepping bullshit.
Yeah, agreed. Digital Lizard said, doesn't Twitch influencers make money off donations? If you owned a $1 billion company, would you want your performers taking donations? Just playing devil's advocate on this Hallows Eve. Yeah, it's a fair question to ask, Digital Lizard. Yeah, if you owned a $1 billion, would you want your performers taking donations? If I own a $1 billion company and I'm doing fine financially, then yes, I don't care. You know why? Because they're taking donations and they're working and doing things, and they're bringing more attention to my product. So in the end, these people who love Saraya will come and be fans of the WWE and will buy merchandise. And the smart move is to say to them, hey, we're cool that you have this stuff, but please promote WWE products, promote the WWE shop, promote these shows that are coming, SmackDown and Raw, and do it for free. We're not going to pay you. Do it for free because that's the exchange. Promote our stuff to the millions of followers you have so that we're both getting something out of it. That's the compromise that I think should have been made from the beginning if Vince understood what the hell this was all about. But like I say, he's an old man railing at the moon or railing at the world and this kind of stuff he doesn't understand. And, Vince ain't going to get through to him. And I bet Stephanie probably tried to explain it to him or Shane tried to explain it to him. But in the end, it's like it's not a situation like if Christian ever tried to control our social media accounts, he'd be in for a rude awakening. It just isn't the smart move overall, and it certainly betrays a man who's out of touch. As if the jokes weren't there already. This makes it this gives even further proof or further evidence that the guy's out of touch to what's happening nowadays in the world.
Old man yells at cloud.
Yeah,
that's Vince McMahon for you.
Football in the groin. Anyway, all right. We'll see what happens. We'll keep tabs on it. Certainly, as Aaron said, I have a vested interest in following this story, so I'll keep updating and putting it on the list or putting it on the rundown when we get updates on it. Aaron, what do we got next, brother?
Before we go, somebody said,
Yeah.
I'm trying to find it here.
Oh.
Zeno Hour said, I look like I'm ready to stream on Twitch immediately, I guess, because I have my Switch available. I wouldn't know the first fucking thing about streaming video games. Like my best friend Nick, he does it. You should follow him, FPS Nick on Twitch.
There you go.
But I don't know the first thing about streaming anything. I play Mario. I play some Mega Man, and I don't think anybody wants to see me die a bunch of times. I just want to throw that out there. But okay, so let's move on. Let's get done with the Switch and Twitch. Let's talk about Jay Lethal's comments on a recent episode of Busted Open Radio. Now, the way that this headline read kind of caught me off guard because he said, essentially that the COVID-19 may have been a really good thing for Ring of Honor, which it's not a good thing for anybody. I think that was kind of taken out of context on Jay Lethal, so I just want to make that clear.
Okay.
He did go on to say he was on there for about an hour, but he did say, when they shut down the pay-per-view, our 18th anniversary show, and we all got to go home, we got emails saying we're going to have a Zoom call. Of course, I feared the worst, that they were going to, shut down Ring of Honor, that nobody was going to get paid, everybody was going to be out on their ass. But their boss, Joe Koff, said there are other companies still running, and nothing against them, nothing against the empty arena matches, but I just don't want to be putting my wrestlers at motels and on airplanes right now.
Yeah.
So you guys just sit home, sit tight. No one's getting their checks canceled. You're all going to get paid, but just stay at home and stay safe and wait for the call to see how we're going to proceed after that. Yeah. And he said, you can't ask for much better than that. You sit home and collect money. That's outrageous, but it's such a blessing. But also a lot of us were saddened because we want to get paid. We were getting paid, but we still wanted to wrestle.
Yeah.
So that's a huge deal, man. Yeah. I mean, you're sitting here in a pandemic. You see that all this is going on. WWE has canceled WrestleMania essentially from this large venue where you're going to make a lot of money. Like everybody around WWE, except for AEW, they do their own thing, I guess. Right. Around that WrestleMania, it's such a big revenue stream that people may not realize for independent wrestlers, for wrestlers and other organizations that run shows close to WrestleMania. And when that goes down, you're like, oh, wait a minute, I get that. Where's my next paycheck coming from? Where, how am I going to be able to pay bills? And Ring of Honor just quickly said, hey, don't worry about it. We're going to pay you. And this gives all of their wrestlers time to heal, time to heal those injuries, time to get some creative going so they can, when they come back, they're ready to go. And Jay Lethal went on to say that it's almost like a reboot for Ring of Honor, which that company has needed for years, a fresh eye reboot. So in a way, I'm not saying that COVID is a blessing, because it's fucking not.
Right.
200,000 people dead. It's not a blessing in any way. But in this particular case, it does kind of make sense that it helped Ring of Honor in some strange, weird way.
Well, there are always indirect results to anything that happens in the world or in life. And there are consequences to it, or possibly positive results from it that you can't quite see when it's happening. So this kind of worked out for him. It's a hell of a tightrope Jay Lethal just walked, saying, that coronavirus kind of helped us when it has really hindered just about everybody else. And obviously caused so many people's lives, or cost so many people's lives, and so many people were infected by it and are still suffering the ramifications of it. Even if they've supposedly been cured from it or recovered from it, they're still suffering the ramifications of it. To say like, oh, well, it worked out for us that we were able to do this. He makes a probably an excellent point. I'm not that aware of Ring of Honor and the inner machinations of what was going on, but it makes sense for him to say it if he feels like this actually gave them a second lease, or a third, fourth, fifth lease, if you talk about Ring of Honor, on the way things were going development wise. You know, a lot of people felt, Aaron, if you remember, when this COVID situation really started and the WWE was the only quote unquote sports type content that was going on when everything else had shut down for a while, that they felt the WWE should shut down for. A lot of people felt it could work in their benefit to have them rejigger everything and look at the content and look at the storylines and kind of come back with a better a bunch of storylines and a better approach to their product. They never did it, but a lot of people said it would have worked possibly to kind of revitalize things for the WWE. So to hear Jay Lethal say this about Ring of Honor, it stands to reason. So he would know. He's been a part of it for quite some time.
Yeah, he's essentially their franchise player.
Yeah.
And I agree with everything Zeno Hour said in the chat. He said, the pure tournament has been entertaining and different so far. It definitely has. And he says, still fuck Sinclair Broadcasting Company, though. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, fuck them. Sure. They're terrible. But yeah, how refreshing it must be for your employer to pay you to sit your ass at home while everybody else is, trying to figure this out. That had to be it gives you confidence in your company. Like Ring of Honor for a long time has been like on the brink of what is Ring of Honor. That's what I asked. Like, what is Ring of Honor? Is it an indie? No, not really. They kind of have a TV deal, so they're not quite an indie, but they don't have like really high production value, so they're not one of the big ones. So they're kind of just in between. I don't know what this ball of thing is. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what's going on with Marty Scurll. Their booker that had the allegations against him from like a bunch of English wrestlers. Right. So I don't know what's going on there. But it's got to be cool to have a nice little reboot, nice little respite, a nice little rest while WWE's running their talents into the ground and taking their Twitch accounts. Yeah. Yeah. Very good point, man. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Anything else we want to jump into, man, or should we get to our watch along? I do want to mention this real quick. We lost wrestler Tracy Smothers this past week, and I know a lot of people probably that listen to us don't know Tracy Smothers. And if I disrespected anybody by saying that, I didn't mean anything. He's an older wrestler. He was one half of the Southern Boys in WCW and wrestled for a long time. Wrestled a lot in my area in West Virginia. I don't think he was from there, but I think he had a residence there. Yeah, wrestled a lot. Around me, got to see him a lot. Very nice guy. Had cancer, fought it for as long as he could. Kept wrestling. A lot of fundraisers in his name, and such an awesome talent. A guy that made it to WCW, the WWF briefly, and then ECW for a short period of time. So the guy was definitely around, and just one of the guys that every time you mention the name Tracy Smothers, people be like, "Oh yeah, what a great guy." Yeah. So we lost him this past weekend, lost his battle to cancer. So thinking of Tracy Smothers.
Yeah, it makes me think of Kevin Smets as well, hoping he fights through this thing and recovers from cancer as well. It's a sad disease that takes a lot of people, and RIP to Tracy Smothers for sure, and sending out our best wishes and thoughts of support for Kevin Smets as he takes on his battle with cancer as well. So much respect there.
Smash cancer, man. Fuck that shit.
Absolutely. We're going to get into the watch along, I think, next, Aaron, and I just want to let you all know, you can keep sending in your Streamlabs and Super Chats. We'll read them during this watch along. We've been kind of light today, so would love to get some support here, some more support before we end the show. Sending in your Streamlabs and Super Chat, you see above Aaron's head, that's the address there, streamlabs.com/John Rocha says, or go into the description of this video and see the link there for the Streamlabs as well. So send those in, or send in your Super Chats as we do this watch along, jumping into 1992's Halloween Havoc.
Yeah, so we're at 2 hours, 32 minutes, 29 seconds. Going to give everybody a chance to get there if you didn't already have it pulled up on the network. But yeah, Tracy Smothers gone. I was watching your Outlaw Nation about Kevin Smets when he was on there, and he said something that really just, took me, like, got me not by surprise, but something that I've been thinking about too, when he was talking about when he came out and he said that he had cancer and was talking to people. He came out and said that in public so other people would, know it's a thing, and that maybe you need to get tested, you need to get looked at. Just if you're feeling something, like get it looked at. And I thought that was really awesome. Like we had, Chadwick Boseman, we had that whole thing that we weren't expecting to happen. So to see him come out and just, you can't beat this guy down with nothing. Like he's tough as nails, and I just want to see him get through this. I don't know him that well. But everything I've seen from him, he just seems like a guy that has a real zest for life. He does. And I hate that this happened to him. I really do.
Yeah, I remember us having the conversation before he went in. He was like, well, what can I expect? And I explained to him, because I've had 3 colonoscopies, and they're important. They're important to anybody. And I'm glad they reduced the rate to 45. They should actually reduce the age to 40. More people are eating terrible food at younger and younger ages because of the advent of fast food and these chemicals and all this stuff. And some people are born with a proclivity to have stomach issues or digestive issues, and that can affect, or colon issues, and that can affect you at younger and younger ages. So if you start to feel, if you're constipated, if you're going too much, if you're going like you can't, if you're just feeling like something's wrong in the stomach, there's a lot of pain, you're doubled over at times in pain, do not ignore this shit. Don't be a man and try to tough it out. Go to your doctor. Go get looked at. It may be something serious, because men die of this cancer all the time and leave wives, girlfriends, or boyfriends, whatever your proclivity is, husbands, leave children without a father. That's a responsibility you take on simply because one Saturday afternoon you thought you could tough through it, and tough it out. And that's not the way this thing should be going. I hope people take Kevin's lesson and go and get tested consistently. It is one of these stigmas that we have to break along with mental health amongst men. This idea that going to the doctor is somehow weak. It is bullshit. And that's why the mask stuff, when they try to make it seem like wearing a mask is weak, I go out of my fucking mind, because we have to take care of our gender a little bit better than we're doing by using this old school bullshit from the 50s. We have to get looked at, because the stuff we're eating now isn't what we ate in the 50s. The stuff we're consuming, the pollution in the air, all that stuff, it's a different life now. What you're toughing through is way more, or we're toughing out, whatever it is way more potent and way more dangerous than the stuff they were toughing through in the 50s. So just putting it out there for people who maybe need to hear this. So that's all.
And full disclosure, I've had some issues going on, so I'm actually going to the doctor on the 11th of November. So
there we go.
It was Chadwick Boseman really got me going into it. When that happened, I was like, oh shit, like I really gotta get talking about that. So I'm sure hopefully everything will be fine, and we'll just,
I hope so too,
keep on rolling.
Yeah.
But I really appreciated him doing that, because he didn't have to do that, and I thought that was really awesome of him to do. So
he's a good guy. All right, let's move on. Speaking of this, toughing through stuff. Let's tough through this Watchalong here,
guys. Yeah, this is our kind of like our farewell to the old format of doing the show. This Watchalong. So Jake the Snake Roberts versus Sting. 2 hours, 32 minutes, 29 seconds. You should see Jim Ross and Jesse Ventura on your screen. I'm going to say 3, 2, 1. Then we're going to play and go. So 3, 2, 1, play. There it is.
Look at that.
Listen, I'm from West Virginia, the land of coal miners, and I've never seen a coal miner's glove in my fucking life.
I don't think I've ever seen a match like this before or since. So hilarious to me. There's Jake.
It's worth noting that on the network, I don't know if this was real, but Jake the Snake Roberts coming out to stunning Steve Austin's music.
Oh, interesting.
This is great. So I guess it would have been his music first.
Right.
That's amazing. I just thought of that.
How much money you got to spend? You're buying a Halloween Havoc shirt at Halloween Havoc. I don't know. Is this one you really want to commemorate?
It's not really a bad show other than this. It's okay.
It's stacked, though. There are so many wrestlers in this particular pay-per-view.
Jake Roberts, coming off of the WWF, the reason that he's here is because he was, going to stop wrestling, become an agent with the WWF, with WCW.
Yeah.
And then they said, how much are they paying you? Yeah, you need to be a wrestler again. So here he is wrestling again. So he's a little bit out of shape.
Yeah.
As you could tell. And of course, here is vintage Sting.
What is the rivalry situation here? Like, why are they fighting?
So Jake the Snake Roberts came out as a masked man and interrupted a Sting match, and then it was revealed to be him. And then here we are. Jake the Snake Roberts shows up, attacks Sting. And then, of course, yes, the Stinger, of course.
Oh. I mean, it's like the WCW just lifted every WWF person and brought them over in the 90s.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I totally forgot about this. I thought it was just Hogan or Savage, but I forgot that they brought over everybody. Ross, Ventura, Jake the Snake.
Well, look out. We should say that the rules of this match are you have to climb to the top, retrieve the coal miner's glove.
Yep.
That's not all, though.
Oh,
you can use the glove after that, but it's still a pinfall. Like you still have to get the 1, 2, 3. You can just use the coal miner's glove.
Yeah.
Which, whatever that is.
There's Sting. Shout out to Jake the Snake Roberts, still a part of the mainstream pop culture in a way. Certainly part of Peanut Butter Falcon recently, and of course all the stuff with DDP Yoga and that incredible documentary. Hey, if you're looking for something to watch this Halloween weekend and you haven't watched that Jake the Snake Roberts documentary, do yourself a favor and watch that documentary, and then follow it up, since we're watching Sting, with the 24-hour documentary they did about Sting's 24 hours before his match at WrestleMania, his last match at WrestleMania. Follow that up as well.
Yeah, I think the Jake documentary is on Prime, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, check that out.
A lot of hidden treasures on all those streaming services if you look hard enough.
I can't even keep up with half of them.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I spent most of my day watching the Michael Myers marathon on the Sci-Fi Channel. That's what I did. That's what I did.
Hey,
yeah, Halloween 4 and 5. Not that bad.
Not
that bad in retrospect.
The little girl, I like the little girl. I enjoyed that stuff.
I like her better in 4 than 5. In 5, she's a mute and it's weird, and I don't like it.
Yeah, I agree.
4, she's better.
Yeah, well, because she's crossing over. She's trying to resist being a part of that world. It's really well done. And Donald Pleasance. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the Curse of Michael Myers with Paul Rudd, then it really just goes off the rails. the cult thing just doesn't. Anyway, we're talking about wrestling here.
Yeah.
That's how entertaining this match is. I mean, think about it, though. Like, in the 90s, what a cool match between, Sting, like Mr. WCW, and Jake Roberts, this bastard from the WWF that had a snake bite the Macho Man.
Right. But Jake, for all you talk about him being out of shape, he's still got the moves, man.
Yeah. He's just not he's not just super ripped, which I don't think he ever was. But.
Right. Well, certainly that stomach was a little bit lighter in the WWF. No lie about that.
I'm going to say -5 to Jake Roberts for wearing gray tights. That's a hell no.
That doesn't help. No,
don't wear that. Not Sting's best outfit either. I don't love it.
Yeah. Yeah, the white pants are tough. Yeah. Not everybody can pull off white pants.
Full disclosure, we're talking about Halloween and, right around the corner tomorrow. Yeah. I dressed up as Sting 2 times for Halloween. Wow. Once as the Surfer Sting because of my lovely blonde hair, and once as the Crow. I had the dark hair.
Nice.
Not as good as my Kevin Owens cosplay I did a few years ago. That's pretty awesome. But
I've always wanted to dress up as Hogan, but have never been able to make that happen. Oh, whoa.
It's almost there.
I mean, it's kind of dangerous,
Oh, super dangerous.
I mean, the latter one seems a little more stable than this stuff.
I think, I've done a watch along for this before, just talking about the craziness of it. And one of my friends pointed out that the pole is very high. Like, it's way too high.
Oh, yeah.
For this match. Like, you got 2 guys, like Jake the Snake Roberts ain't slam dunking any basketballs. Like, why is this pole so high?
Yeah, it's a fair point. Oh!
Oh, the dreaded shoulder pull. Look out.
Do you remember where this one was? What city this was in?
No, but I'll look it up real quick.
Okay. It feels like Atlanta.
I want to say Pittsburgh since I saw a Pittsburgh jersey, but I couldn't.
Good call. Probably Pittsburgh, yeah.
Philadelphia, so close.
Oh, Philly. All right. I like the dude in the Hawaiian hat in the front on the phone. I love that guy.
This dude,
that douche nozzle.
The dude in the straw hat You will see him in WCW like in the 90s, ECW in the 90s. This guy was everywhere. The man, the Straw Hat guy, is well known in fan circles. Well known.
All right. It's probably Edward Harrell. It's probably Edward.
Hit toss on the outside. Move. I'm not saying that Jake is a bad wrestler. I'm just saying
not at all.
Maybe look how high that damn pole is. Like,
yeah, that's scary, man.
Dude,
I have some height issues. I have some.
All the cameramen.
Yeah, how about that green Christmas sweater? Way to go, there, guy.
That's not good.
What's with that sweater, guy? Yikes! Ooh. How about wrestling with buckles on your boots? Like that could cut your face up.
Yes, it definitely could.
Opponent. Yeah.
Are those regulation boots? I don't know. They look like motorcycle boots to me. I don't know. Spin the wheel, make the deal. I hope they bring back Halloween Havoc for NXT next year, but I hope it's a takeover and not just a random show. It feels weird when they do that.
I mean, Straw Hat is like got his hands on his face. He's having a conversation away from the ring. Like, what the hell, man?
Yeah.
You're the front row guy. Have some respect.
He's like, wasn't there a Barry Windham title match before this? Like, what is this crap?
Look at that woman in the front row. She wearing her high-end blouse with the shoulders missing there. Well, I respect.
I like that you're giving fashion commentary. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Guy with the pink sweater in the front's really catching my eye.
I mean, what's that all about? Is that Mark, whatever his name is, from Sable's guy? Is that Mark?
Mark Marrow?
Is that Mark Marrow?
Well, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so
fair. That's fair.
Oh, yeah, because you want to land on your back. There's no padding out there, for God's sake.
Yeah, on the concrete.
Bill Watts.
Okay, that's not a fake chair, by the way.
No, that's not a regulation chair. Fake chair.
I've been hit by one of those chairs before. It is not good.
Where did you get hit by a chair like that?
Well, when you're younger, you try out certain things.
Oh my God. Not a good idea.
Let's just say Rocha in the 20s was up for any kind of wrestling match. So even playful amongst the cousins. There were elbow drops off the couch onto the living room floor. Certainly. There's a lot of craziness that went on.
I still have a scar on my knee from where I did a knee drop on my wrestling buddy when I was watching a Shane Douglas match. Because I was imitating Shane Douglas.
The franchise.
That's right. Trying to see if I can't tell if it's Randy Anderson or not, the referee. I don't think it is. Not tiny enough to be Randy Anderson.
No. This guy looks like he had a couple of soft rock hits in the 70s and 80s.
Probably, yeah. Probably so. Yeah.
It's Robbie
America's
Dupree.
top 20. I'm sorry. Like, I know we're talking about fashion, but I really hate Jake's gear. Like,
yeah,
I really hate it. Oh, that was awful.
Yeah. A bit of a miss there.
I'm kind of a gear snob, so like I would not buy a figure that this is depicted. Right. Ranger Donald says he thinks it's Nick Patrick. I don't know if it is or not. I can't tell.
Is it a young Nick Patrick?
It might be, but I'm not sure.
I mean, I could see it because the body shape is kind of the same. I don't know if the face, though, matches.
We'll have to see if he's left-handed because Nick Patrick notoriously left-handed, of course.
I am no left-handed. Let's see here. Do we have any? No. Thank you for the subscriptions, but no Streamlabs and Super Chats have come through. So just wanted to check real quick. All right.
He's calling for the DDT.
He's lining it up. Trying to wake that arm up.
Yeah.
That does not work, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Do not try that at home.
Here we go.
That feeling will come back into your arm when it's ready to come back. Oh! Damn it, he hurt himself.
Well, by God. By God.
His arm is broken in half. His God is my witness.
God is my witness. He broke his own damn arm. Here comes Jake Roberts climbing this 12-foot pole, trying to get
with one arm.
Trying to get this fucking glove. Oh my god. Oh.
But what do you get if you win this match? Like, what does he get? Does he get to whip Sting or something like that?
You just get to use it, man. Look at this.
Oh, wow. That's a great move. What a fantastic move.
Love that.
Oh, Cactus Jack.
Oh, I wonder what's in there. We got a coal miner's glove, a snake. Look how freaking high that pole is.
That is a small ass snake. Let me tell you something. Oh, he's going to get to use it.
How was Jake? Yeah, he gets to use it.
What's in the coal miner's glove?
That is a mystery that no one will ever understand for the end of time. Wait a minute. He got bit by some snake.
What? Oh, that is terrible. That was terrible. Wow.
Jake got bit by his own snake. You know,
that is not a cobra.
of all the things, it's not that bad. Like, Jake getting bit by his own snake is pretty fun.
Yeah, if they had pulled it off, it would have been great. But Jake kind of was in the middle of trying to show himself being. Oh,
yeah, he's getting bit by that snake.
Wow.
I don't know if it's a cobra. I don't know if he's bleeding profusely, but damn.
Yeah, that is not a cobra. Asha.
Still, he sounded like one of those Tuscan Raiders from the Mandalorian.
I would swing that snake towards the crowd and freak him the hell out.
Hell no.
He's like, I can't control it.
Like, I know that Jake has snakes on his trunks, but it looks like avocados. Like, I just want to say avocados from Mexico.
Nice.
But that is
Snake-a-mole.
Halloween Havoc 1992. You can see Sting there with the coal miner's glove. You know, they never made a figure of that, which is a real shame.
What does it do? Look, it Sting's like...
I assume a coal miner's glove is just really thick. Like, I don't know other... Like, it's not like there's a specialized glove that you can have where you just punch coal and it turns into diamonds or something. Like,
is Jesse being a Dracula? Is Jesse a vampire with that cape of his? Is that what he's doing?
I've done turned it.
Oh, San Martino! Oh, well. All right, we shutting this down?
Yeah, we'll shut this down. I think we've had enough. Yeah, guys, so that's our watch along.
Our last one.
Our last one. Well, maybe not our last watch along, but our last revisit of a classic match in the form that we used to do it. So
yeah.
Now it's going to be just the news and recaps of shows and stuff like that. So it's been a fun ride with that, but I think the classic matches have run their course. I don't think that they draw in the people like we want them to draw in. And this show has been really growing over the past couple of weeks. Like, we had a show a couple of weeks ago that absolutely sucked in viewership, and then the past two have been amazing.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to see that trend continue. So we got to change it up a little bit, guys. We're changing it up. Yeah. That's what we're doing here.
And it helps for you all if you can share the show, if you can talk to your friends about the show, or, there's so many wrestling shows. So trying to get one to get seen by a lot of people is not easy. It's pushing a huge boulder up the hill, but we're willing to do it. So please do your part to help us out. You don't have to donate. If you can't donate, don't totally get it. Times are tough for financial things. But the one way you can help us is A, give this thing a like, B, put a comment in the comment section, and C, share it on your social media so people can find it and discover it, because the more comments, the more likes, and the more you share it, it elevates the visibility of the show and puts it there as a show to be suggested to people who are watching pro wrestling content. So there you go. All right, Aaron, that's our show here for Strong Style. Please tell them where they can find you and everything you got going on, my man.
You can find me not on Twitch, but you will find me sitting in a chair watching SmackDown, playing my Switch here in a minute before my wife gets home. So that's what I'll be doing. You can find me on Twitter at OnlyAaronTurner.
Follow him there and go back and forth with him about wrestling. He loves doing that. You can follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram, as you see below. And remember to subscribe to the channel as well. We got 2 subscribers during the show, so thank you so much for subscribing here. Keep as you share it. Keep encouraging other people to subscribe as well. If you haven't subscribed, you've been watching the show every week, what the hell are you doing? Subscribe. Be a part of the Outlaw Nation and be a part of Strong Style for sure. All right, that's it from us. Have yourselves a happy and safe Halloween this weekend. Practice social distancing, wear the mask, don't go into that party just thinking you're going to be okay. Please be careful this weekend and take care of yourselves, because we want you back with us next week when we go live again with another episode of Strong Style. All right, take care of yourselves. We'll talk to you soon. Peace.